This new movie you're in is just insanely fun. Dead Wrong has an adrenaline rush throughout the entire movie. You play Wendy Parks. How was she originally described to you?
Originally described to me, I mean, from reading the script at first, there were lots of elements described, but then I think I kind of brought my own flavor to her. She's Barbara's sister, and then there's a lot going on with Billy as well, and that relationship goes back quite a few years. And there's some struggles with addiction, but overall, she's like a nice spicy character, and I think she brings a lot of flair to the movie. I don't want to give too much away.
She is crossing some boundaries with her sister, but at the same time, she's very supportive and playing her role in all of this as well. Talk about working with Katrina Bowden.
Oh, she's so great. Yeah, it was great right off the bat. I was like, "Hey, I'm Wendy." She's like, "Hey, I'm Barbara." Yeah, it was very communicative and just nice and supportive. And yeah, I had a great experience with her. She's lovely.
What kind of moral compass did Rick Bieber discuss with you as far as where Wendy's lies, especially since she is crossing so many boundaries?
We talked about it a little bit, but I think that was explored, with Derek as well as Barbara's character. But yeah, there were some things that were kind of flirting the line that, we talked about the day of mainly, with how far things would go and stuff like that. Yeah, I think we just kind of rolled with the punches as they came.
Was she always with pink hair, or is that a decision you guys made on set?
Um, if I remember correctly, that was my preference. I felt like Wendy would have pink hair. I mean, personally, I did, and that was like a COVID decision that carried into work, and it kept going, and people loved it. So, yeah, that was a choice that production had, and they decided to go with it, and I was super excited because I think it just brought a fun element, and I think having colorful hair can show a kind of like carefreeness that a person may have in that moment. Yeah, I just felt like it was on par with what Wendy was going through at the time.
What challenged you the most then about portraying Wendy?
Um, Playing a nymphomaniac was quite challenging because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't portrayed in a sexy way. To me, and Rick and I talked about this before too. He was like, I watched so many tapes and you were the only one that kind of nailed it. And I'm like, yes, because to me, there's nothing sexy about that. It's the same as any addict. It's like, you're going to act a certain way before you get the drug, whatever the drug is that you're struggling with, or. So, yeah, bottom line is I wanted to make sure it wasn't portrayed sexy or, glorifying too much or anything. And I think we did it quite well.
I have to ask about working with director Rick Bieber. How hands-on was he when it came to molding these scenes, or did he give you much room to just inhabit these characters yourselves?
I'd say we had more room to inhabit things ourselves, and I think, things moved quite fast. Um, because it's such an independent project, there wasn't much time to overwork a scene or really get to a juicy moment. We kind of just showed up and we were already there. So there was a lot of internal work, I'd say. But he was great. He was great. There was direction. It was overall, it was really good. A good happy medium of being able to play and, make sure we get there and then we're moving on. We're moving quick. And yeah.
What were some of your favorite scenes to film, or maybe ones you're just most proud of how they turned out?
I mean, all of the scenes with Katrina, I really loved. I mean, I think Wendy's scenes are all quite pivotal, so it would be hard for me to pick one. I mean, the last shot of the movie was really fun, even though there's no dialogue for me. It's just a very I guess the last few scenes, just in a story standpoint, it kind of wraps everything up nicely. So that was fun, you know, little revenge moments without giving too much away.
I was going to ask how you decompressed after being on set all day long, but it sounds like the cast got along so well, or maybe you didn't have such intense moments for Wendy, at least. Whereas
Yeah,
you're not really in the life-threatening moments.
that's true. That's fair. Yeah, and I think I had some breaks in between, I was able to decompress and then come back. But yeah, my scenes weren't maybe as heightened as a few of the other characters, so it wasn't too hard for me to come out of it. Yeah. Lots of yoga and self-care. Couple spa days.
And another interest in playing a character like this again, or would you step into Wendy's dysfunctional shoes again?
Yeah, I tend to always gravitate towards these complicated cool girls. It would be fun for me to play like a girl next door, but I'm not sure that that's in the cards for me, and I'm totally fine with that. I really love the more juicy roles anyway, so and I've got lots of life experiences to pull from.
What do you think it is about Dead Wrong that's going to make it just a fast fan favorite crime thriller?
Well, Rob Schneider, first of all, I mean, aside from the cast, I mean, I think there's so many great characters. And it's just such a jam-packed movie that, if I read the synopsis, I'd be like, okay, I'm renting immediately. I think there's just so much going on in it that, people are gonna love it. And for an indie film, it's quite ambitious. Uh, I think that alone, the cast and the ambition and the synopsis even, I mean, I'd be into it.
What's next for you? What have you been busy working on lately?
I did a couple projects since Dead Wrong that are kind of one that got distribution as well called Free LSD. And we're doing a theatrical run in Chicago, New York, and LA in July. So I'm kind of just prepping for that and then auditioning. And I'm signed on to do a movie next year. And then I'm working on my own stuff as well. I've got a pilot and a couple features that are going to be making the rounds soon here. So, yeah, keep him busy.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work you do on our screens?
Well, thank you for your support, first of all. And I hope you're as excited as I am for the release of Dead Wrong and everything else that's coming after that. And yeah, just thank you so much.